Good Friday morning. A while ago, I showed a real quick picture of a Christmas tree I set up to use bandsaw with. And I'm going to redo that tree today, only I'm not going to do it the same way that I did. The way I did it is electronically more accurate than what I'm going to show today. But to get the job done, you don't have to necessarily be completely accurate. Close enough sometimes is wonderful. This is what the tree looked like. I'm starting a screen share, and it's over here. Start screen share. Got to hit all buttons. Now, these are all individual. I forgot one thing in my my write-up. It's also going to have scale in here, but that's okay. These are all individual components, and they're rotated and moved and copied and various other things. Okay, now I hope you can see it. The Google, again, has changed the interface a little bit on the Hangout. So here we go. This is a tree. And this little red thing is supposed to be a clear plastic lens. I'm not sure exactly how to do that yet, but that's not really here nor there. I don't want to open. This is what it started with here. But I have a new one going on called SU Christmas tree. Now, one of the first things you have to do is you got to figure out how many points or tips you want on this tree. I'm going to do 10 this time just because I want to do 10. So you hit this button down here, and that is the polygon button. Over here in the corner, it defaults to 6. So I'm going to type in 10 and come up here, and I'm going to drag it around. I think I want a 5.5 radius on it. I have double-clicked it, mouse button 1, and I'm going to make a component out of it. My hotkey is Shift-C. If you don't use hotkeys, you are just killing yourself, wasting time. There. Now, I will make that component active, and I will extrude, is what I call their silly push-pull comment. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know something? I'm going to get rid of it because it didn't do 10, it did 6 again. Okay, let's try multiple again. 10. There. $5.5. Now I'm still in that part. I never got out of component 1, so I could still work in it. I'm going to make this 5/8 of an inch thick. Basically, it'll be using standard 1x pine, and it'll give me some room to true up both sides. And now I'm going to try to put it back on my origin. And the easiest way to do that, well, let's just try moving it as it is. It's got a little origin there, so maybe it will allow me to move. Move. No, it won't. Okay, clear that out, go into my line function and create from there to there a line. Now I will go into move, and I will select the middle point of that line and take it over to my origin. Get rid of the line and yawn because I'm in my lecture mode and my throat's not used to it. Now you can see that this doesn't look a whole lot like a Christmas tree. It looks kind of flat on all sides. It is. What we're going to do, though, is copy this up 1/2 inch. I don't know what I copied, but it was 1/2 inch wrong way. Okay, let's try it again. Now to copy it, I want to hold the control key down. That will let me copy. I want to rename this one, but actually I'm going to let the computer do it. I'm going to say make unique. Now with that being unique, I am going to go into my scale function. And I'm going to go from here and it's going to be really ornery again. Let's try this all over. Um, 96. This gets fussy because it wants to do what it wants to do regardless of what you tell it. And it won't let me key in. Maybe it will. Nope. If I let go of it, it actually worked that time, which is kind of weird. But it also did not move the way I wanted it to. It was supposed to go about the center line. It did, but it moved all one way. So I'll just go over here and I'm going to copy that again. And I actually sort of do know what I'm doing. It's just that it seems to be changing the axes on me. Okay, so I now have another copy. I want to make this one unique again. And I want to go back into my scale function, which is right here. Now, believe it or not, this is the first time I've ever got that to work. I knew it was supposed to. It wouldn't for me, and I have no idea why it is now. Okay. So now I need to just move both of these a little bit because I've got to put them back where I want them. Okay. Go back to my line function, here to here, here to here, and here to here. Doesn't make any difference which 2 points you start from as long as they cross the center point. Now I'll take this one and I'll move that from the midpoint to that midpoint, and I'll move this one the same way from midpoint, except I don't have a midpoint there. Okay, another line function. Move from midpoint to midpoint. Now, I don't want to have all the points of my tree in the same direction. So I want to rotate halfway. Okay, I'll leave it at 15. We'll see what it looks like. Now, we have a whole bunch of stuff here that I'm now going to select mouse button 1, holding the control key down. I got both of these components. Now I'm going to hide, and actually I'm going to hide everything, and I'm going to box everything in. I'm going to delete all those lines. Unhide my base component. Now, I would like to have in the center of this thing an opening. It can either be another polygon or it can be just a circle. Right now, I'm just going to start with a circle. Even though it's not on that part yet, that's okay because I want to go into, well, no, I want it on that, as a matter of fact. Okay, double mouse button 1. Now, line function from that midpoint to here. From that midpoint to here. And then I got to try to figure out exactly how I want this one to look. I've actually forgot what I want to do. Let's go look at my other tree again, if I can find it. Okay. That's what I'm doing wrong. Okay, let's put some guides in here, which is tape measure tool is one way to do it. So I'll put one here. Protractor is another way, and I want to put one from this midpoint. Nope, I want to put it from here. Yeah, we'll see what we got. Okay, go into line function again. Select that one to here, that one to here. And I did it wrong. There. There. Now we can go back and create our lines. Some days, no matter how you try it just doesn't work right. Now, I'm going to take this and sweep it all, or push pull. I'm going to extrude it completely out. No, I want that left there. What I want is to take this part and I want to make a component of that. And when you do this, always check to see if this says replace selection with component. Otherwise, you'll have a component you can't find anywhere. So now I'm going to take that out, and I'm going to hide this one. And I will take this thing and extrude it my halfway up, my ½ inch up. Now let's go back and look at this one. Unhide a I'm going to hide this one because I really don't like the way it looks yet, which is fine. Put my weight back in here. To fill the surface up, you make sure the component is active and just close it. Now, I would say that this really needs to have a line someplace from here down to here. So thinking that way, I will go back to my part. I'll unhide this, hide this again. And actually, I'm going to move. The nice part of working with components, you can move the component away so you can see your parent and what you're dealing with. So what I did is I want to make this one active, and I want to create a line. So I have a segment coming from this point to the midpoint, and from this point to the midpoint. Now I'll go back into this one, and these elements I'm going to rotate around the center point. That says 36 degrees. So 15 was not right. 9x. To verify what I've done, you can go into the dimension tool, which is this little one right here. And put in some dimensions, and that says it's the same number. But you can see that this is going to look funky because my points are not out far enough. So since it won't find an intersect point or a point on line, I want to go back to my protractor again, and I'm going to create a line that disappears. There, now I've got it on top. Space bar to clear it. Back to my line function. From here to there. And by selecting both of those, I can get an entity info of 2 and 21/30 seconds. So back in to make this one active, and I will go ahead and create a line from here along that. want to hide this one again because things are getting jumbled. Now, I want to do the same thing over here. L down along there. Now, I can also take one from here, and it didn't put mine in. Get rid of my entity info. Get rid of that middle line. And now I can extrude this one 0.5. So now I'm going to copy this one, or I'm going to move this one just a little bit first. I'll move it 2 inches. And now I will copy it back from here to here. And this one I'll rotate. And there we have what the bottom of the tree is going to start looking like. But you can tell that right now it's really ugly, which shows to me that we need a bisecting line between here and here and here and here so that we have a nice surface in there. I want to find out what this angle is. Going back to my protractor again. Not that one, but sideways. There. We have a slight overlap because of the almost. So what I want to do is back to the protractor again, and I want to get that point right there. From here to there's like 51 and something or the other. I'm not saying anything, I'm trying to zoom in here real good to get that thing. And I'm going to put out here and then find out that that's not right either, but that's okay. Let's see if I can just get a line in there. I'm really not happy with how this thing is looking, and I'm not sure what I did wrong. Okay. First, I'm going to make sure I have a guideline on this edge and a guideline on that edge, so I have a better point. Now, rather than using a circle, it would be easier if I just went a point-to-point line and then a point-to-point from here to the midpoint. Now, there are better ways to do this. I'm just trying to get a job done to show you how it kind of works. Now this, I'm going to make a group, which my hotkey is Shift G. I therefore have a group, and I want to put it in that component. So you click the group, make sure it's active, and drop it into number 4. And I'm going to make this one active. I'm going to explode that group. I'm going to do the same thing on this one. Shift G. I have another group. I'll take it and dump it up into that number 4. And now I got to figure out how I want to move it. Here's the one I want. So I need to grab it. And drag it over to about here. I want to try doing this with a scale. There. It more or less did what I wanted, except I've got the wrong side up. So we'll go ahead and move it again. And now we'll rotate it. There's not more smart ways to do this than the way I'm doing it right now. In fact, I really don't like the way I'm doing it, since I've started this way. Now it's going to be ornery. I've got that little bitty surface there that it doesn't like. But they want to get it closed up. There, that's one way to get your individual leaf or bough. And I want to come and try to spin. Well, he's going to straighten that out, but it ain't worth it. And then to get, let's go back into this, unhide this. I put a circle in here. You can see where the circle would come. Another way to do it would just be extend these edges down a little bit, make them square across. So I shall try. No, I won't even try to do that. That'll work. And then you just copy and rotate and keep changing the scale until you get your tree done. And since it's kind of nice to sometimes have color, if I hit the right keys, I did. Let's go with a dark green. Here. See, here you have another decagon, which might be a pain to cut. It'd be easier if these were just brought straight across here, or even brought longer, so that you can have a smaller cut on the inside, because you're going to have to remember that whatever this size here is, when you get up 6 more layers, your hole is going to be a lot smaller, which is okay because you have other layers on top of it. In fact, I'll bring this one in. You can see when you do the same thing here with your edges and things, it's these are going to be in, the next one's going to be in a little higher. But basically, that is how you would get all of your little pieces cut. Again, I want to put some color in here. Alt-B for hotkey. And to get this, I'll make that part active. I'll go into my line function. Put that there, put this here. And now you have a better guide on the inside. So your next layer up would be rotated the amount of degrees, and then you do that same thing with one edge of it, with one bow. And then when you want to actually go cut this thing, if you're really good with printing, you can go ahead and print yourself a copy. Since I don't like the print function, I just leave it on my computer. So that would be your base dimension from here to here. Okay, go back into the dimension. And there you can get a rough idea of what your dimensions would be. You can do the rise and run if you want to. That would be taking this dimension here. You can see that's almost an inch. If you tweak your model a little bit, you could get some more decent dimensions. Here I have 3 and almost 11/16. It says that little tilde means almost. So it could be higher or lower. That's almost 2 inches. So, you know, it obviously would be. You can get this one in here also. So you can go from, you can establish a corner or a midpoint and measure out and do it. You can do 1/2 and then flip it and trace it on your pine and then cut it. I'm going to save this because I kind of like the way this looks. I have to do some tweaking on it, but it's all right. Here we are again. Thanks for anybody that's listened and watched. I didn't do this as slick as I wanted to, but it's more accurate than just trying to sketch it out. Now, if you're really, really good with pencils and papers and stuff, you can do the same thing. I've been pencil and paper for years. I've been computer aided for years. Give me a computer anytime. It's a whole lot more accurate, and I can figure out where I can tweak things on the fly. Whereas when you put it on paper, sometimes you're stuck with your own bad idea. So enjoy CAD, enjoy 3D. It's not very difficult. It gets difficult when you're trying to talk and do and think and pre-plan. No, it's better if you're just drawing. But this was an impromptu lesson. It works, and I kind of like it. And my wife is going to like seeing the tree. Now, if I'd left this 3/4 of an inch thick and just trusted my wood, I could have put my little recesses in here and possibly drilled a hole through it for a fiber optic light or a wire or something. This will get the job, and you can't even see what I'm pointing at. So I'll turn the screen share back on. And what I was talking about is you can make a little inset here, drill from here out, so that you can have a light that you can have on the tips of your branches, so it looks like a nice, pretty lit up Christmas tree. Kind of reminiscent of the one my mom made in ceramics class before 1980, because she died in 81 or 82. So yeah, those ceramic trees are an old thing. I'm looking for some of those little lights myself. If anybody knows where to find them, not lights, but the little bulbs that the light peers through. If anybody knows where to find them, send me a message. This will be posted, a link on my websites. It's here on Google Plus. It'll be on my iSketchup You Can Too YouTube site. You can get a link to it from iSketchUp You Can Too in Facebook. I will put it on Pinterest, and I might even stick it on Twitter, although I don't have a lot of followers on Twitter. So thanks for watching. Please comment. I can't coming up with anything on the fly without being able to pre-plan them is hard, but if I don't have any questions to ask, I just wing things. So help me, please. Bye-bye. Now if I can figure out how to turn the screen off, I stop broadcast there.